The bulletin: enterprises operating under Mohammed's 24-hour economic policy to enjoy lower tariffs during off-peak hours. And severe teacher shortage hit Upper Dentra East municipality, within nearly 30% of basic schools in rural areas lacking the required number of teachers. And later in sports, Arsenal's inability to capitalize on keys do stay. You're welcome back to the broadcast. Remember, we are streaming on Facebook and TikTok at Globe TVGH. Do join us with your thoughts and comment. This morning, the Third Force Alliance Ghana, a coalition of opposition parties, including PNC, GCPP, APC, CPP, GFP, and GUM, has criticized the New Patriotic Party for its reaction to President John Dramani Mohammed's decision to suspend Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo.
The coalition contrasted the president's approach with the NPP's behavior, citing the minority leader's actions during a recent demonstration as an example of the party's disregard for democratic principles. GCPP's AWUSI, who is the alliance's governor, accused the NPP of hypocrisy and ulterior motives, stating that the party prioritizes talking political and gender sentiment over upholding the constitution.
To state at the outset that the constitutional processes set out under Article 146 for the removal of justices of the superior courts, including the Chief Justice, are clear, detailed, and provide significant safeguards against arbitrary removal. In this matter, there is no indication that the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has acted outside the bounds of the Constitution. The Supreme Court itself has interpreted Article 146 to require a preliminary determination of a prima facie case in consultation with the Council of State.
The Third Force Alliance commended President Mahama for allowing peaceful demonstrations without harassment or brutalization, demonstrating his commitment to democracy and the rule of law.
We propose amendments to require that all determinations, whether of prima facie merit, committee composition, investigation, or reporting, be conducted within fixed statutory timelines to prevent abuse or unnecessary delay. 3. Publication of committee reports post-determination. While we accept the need for in-camera proceedings to protect judicial dignity and institutional integrity, we propose that the final report of the committee, with necessary redaction, be published once a decision has been made.
Now, the National Democratic Congress Greater Accra Regional Constituency organizers have called on President John Dramani Mahama and the party leadership to reward with government appointees for their crucial role in the party's electoral process.
The organizers, led by Gad Nene Akwe, expressed disappointment and frustration, feeling that their efforts had been taken for granted. They urged President Mahama to recognize their contributions and ensure that they receive their fair share of government appointments. The organizers emphasized that parliamentarians might not have secured the vote they did.
Before the last election, which were held in December 2024, we, the organizers, met and constantly planned and undertook various strategies, assignments, and missions. This strategy moves went a large way to ensure that we won and increased the parliamentary seats in the region from 20 to 31, which is an outstanding record. Our activities also ensure the wide win in the votes gathered for our presidential candidate, who is now the president of the country, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
The organizers are further seeking recognition and reward for their hard work, which they believe contributed significantly to the party's electoral success. They want the party leadership to acknowledge their role and provide them with government appointment as a token of appreciation.
As we are gathered here today, is just about a concern that has become a canker to some of us. When we sleep, we don't sleep. A whole lot of calls coming from here. And we decided to, lie low, get to the authorities one-on-one and discuss our issues to them. We have done it several times, but it is not yielding anything. Finally, they asked us to submit lists for people for consideration for certain appointments. We did it and we realized that the lists have been set aside and they are doing selective. And also, those that are fortunate to be given appointments, and through them that you ask them for, endorsement of the list, they will just tell you, order from above, that they should do this, we should hold on. And nearly 4 months now, we are not seeing the way forward. Separation of powers, the center cannot be held, so you don't know who and who to talk to. And we look like we are seeing ourselves as.
To some other stories, the University of Professional Studies Accra UPSA has established a police station on its main campus to boost safety and security for the university community. Now, UPSA Registrar Rolwin Jan highlighted that the move demonstrates the institution's dedication to fostering citizenship and promoting the rule of law and maintaining high standards of accountability.
The commissioning of the police station brought together key stakeholders, including the Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, IGP Christian Tete Yohonu, university leadership, alumni, and others. In her welcome address, UPSA Registrar Madam Lauren Jan highlighted the police station as a significant milestone in creating a safer environment for learning, working, and living. She reaffirmed the university's commitment to nurturing responsible citizens, upholding the rule of law, and promoting institutional accountability.
The reason we are gathered here today is not simply to unveil a building, but to mark a significant step in our collective commitment to creating a safer, more secure environment for learning, working, and living. As we officially open the station today, let us be reminded that it stands as a promise that UPSA remains committed to nurturing responsible citizenship, upholding the rule of law, and setting a standard for institutional accountability. Let us proceed, therefore, in the spirit of gratitude, collaboration, and the shared responsibility that we all stand for.
Vice-Chancellor Professor John Kwaku-Mensah Mawuto expressed heartfelt gratitude to the Ghana Police Service past and current leadership for their unwavering cooperation and support. He also appealed to Interior Minister to intervene in the university's land acquisition challenges, facilitating more space for future development projects.
I extend our profound appreciation to both the past and current leadership of Ghana Police Service for the unwavering cooperation and support. Here I pause to say that our current IGP, once again, thank you. Let me also mention the former IGP who made sure that this land was secured for us, because one of the limitation of UPSA now, we don't see it as a challenge, but it's a limitation, is land. Honorable Minister, let me use this opportunity to appeal once you are here. UPSA need land. Please give us land and we'll develop it for Mother Ghana.
On behalf of the Ghana Police Service, the Greater Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Tuti Tuaruka, assured the university to enforce law and order, maintain peace to the best of its ability, and would utilize the facility for its intended purpose.
The police is assuring the university that it will do its best to enforce law and order, maintain peace to the best of its ability. I want to also assure you that the station will be used for the purpose for which it was intended.
In his remarks, the Interior Minister Muntaka Mohamed Mubarak reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the security agencies in their efforts of ensuring the safety and security of citizens.
As the Minister for the Interior, I reaffirm government's commitment to supporting our security agencies in their effort to ensure the safety and security of our citizens. We will continue to provide the necessary resources and support to enable our officers to carry out their duties effectively. I urge the community to partner with the police in this endeavor, working together to identify and address security concerns and promote a culture of safety and security.
In the Volta region, the North Tongue Flood Victims Association is calling for transparency and accountability in the compensation process following the Akosombo Dam spillage disaster. The association alleges the millions of cedis in donations meant for the flood victims were mismanaged by local authorities.
At a press conference in Mepe, chairman and spokesperson for the association, Gwasan Roji, accused local authorities of mishandling relief funds and items. He claimed that despite over 200 million Ghana cedis and international aid being donated between 2023 and 2024, very little reached the real victims.
It has been alleged that some key individuals are fighting hard for the compensation due the victims should come into their hands. We, the flood victims of Tongu, is hereby alerting the President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable John Dramani Mahama, and the selected committee to compensate the flood victims knew nothing about the key figures who are lobbying for the compensation fund to come into their hands.
The association is demanding that compensation funds be deposited directly into victims' bank accounts to prevent further mismanagement. They also flagged discrepancies in victim data, with different numbers reported by the Mepe Development Association, the Tongue Flood Victims Association, and NADMO.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we, the Tongu flood victims, had no meeting or negotiations with these key figures who are struggling for the compensation fund to fall into their hands. We, the victims, have an association which our ins and outs fall on them.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Mepe Development Association, Fabian Maule Nukojo, defended his group's data and denied any wrongdoing. He declared that their records are audited and public, with fair distribution of relief items to affected victims. The Tongue Flood Victims Association is now awaiting an official response from the Mahama-led administration regarding their demands for transparency and accountability in the compensation process.
The Central Regional Minister, Eko Tripenyin Eduamo, has expressed dismay and frustration over recent attacks on Ghana National Fire Service personnel on their tracks. He described the violence as disturbing and unacceptable and emphasized the importance of respecting firefighters who risk their life to save others.
Represented by Regional Coordinating Director Bless Daki at a ceremony to climax this year's International Firefighters Day celebration in Cape Coast on Monday, urged Ghanaians to appreciate the sacrifices of firefighters and support their efforts. He emphasized that operational challenges should not be an excuse for aggression against firefighters, and instead, citizens should advocate for better resources and logistical support for the Ghana National Fire Service.
We must not take the sacrifices of firefighters for granted. They are not just emergency responders.
They are community heroes. Their courage deserves not only medals, but also our mutual respect and consistent support. It is therefore disturbing that in recent times, we have witnessed acts of violence against fire personnel and vandalism of fire tenders. Such behavior is unacceptable. Operational delays or equipment challenges should not and never be an excuse for aggression against those working under the most difficult and dangerous circumstances.
Regional Commander ACFO2 Merenda Mary Atiga Mensah highlighted the risk firefighters face daily and the consequences of assaults on them, which often lead to delays and loss of lives and properties.
The theme of this year's International Firefighters Day is appreciating our heroes, say no to assaults on firefighters and vandalism of fire trucks. We must appreciate our heroes and protect our firefighters and fire trucks. Firefighters risk their lives daily to serve mankind and the environment. They deserve respect, not violence or vandalism. Assault on firefighters and damage to fire trucks endanger lives. Every delay caused by violence can lead to the loss of lives and properties of others. So assaults on personnel.
Regional Deputy Commander of Immigration George Teku expressed solidarity with the Ghana National Fire Service, encouraging personnel to remain undeterred in their selfless efforts, which are appreciated by most Ghanaians.
We've all been observing the great work you've been doing. Even though the public may not take it as the best, but please do not be discouraged. They see us fighting to the extent of falling, that we lose our families. But still, they say we are not doing the best. Do not be discouraged. You may pose for action. Your fire engines may fail you, but believe God, your spirit is ready to fight. Whichever fire it may be, do not be.
You are still watching the Wake Up News on Globe TV. I am Bright AWUSI. Coming up shortly, inflation rate declined in 21 to 21.2% in April 2025, its lowest level in 8 months. Details right shortly. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to the program. Remember, the broadcast is streaming on our socials on Facebook and TikTok at Globe TVG. Do join us with your thoughts and comment. Let's do some big snake stories because inflation rate declined to 21.2% in April 2025, its lowest level in 8 months. This downward trend is attributed to the recent strength of the cedi, which has helped reduce import-related price pressures. The decline marks the 5th consecutive months of disinflation in 2025. The data from the Ghana Statistical Service reported that the inflation rate for March 2025 was 22.4%, and the latest figure shows a slight improvement. This trend indicates a positive direction for the economy, with both food and non-food inflation moderating during the period.
The consumer price index for April 2025 was 258.6, and this is coming up from 213.3 recorded in April 2024, which represents a year-on-year inflation rate of 21.2%. This means that in April 2025, the general price level was 21.2% higher than what was recorded in April 2024. This represents a 1.2 percentage points decrease from the March rate of 22.4%. In other words, inflation slowed by 1.2 percentage points over the period. And the good news here is that this is the 5th time we are seeing inflation decline on year-on-year basis since December 2024. On month-on-month basis, we see that the general price level in April was 0.8%, as you can see on the screen. And this is up from the previous month, which is March 2025, month-on-month inflation rate of 0.2%. The CPI for April 2025 was 258.6, up from the March 2025 CPI of 256.5. The increase in month-on-month inflation for April 2025 signify price pressures in the month, despite the slowdown in the year-on-year inflation. Now, let's still on the main point, let's look at the key message from the data that we have collected from inflation. If you look on this slide, what we have presented is to present the national inflation overview, and then we try to give a breakdown of inflation by food and non-food, and also inflation by imports and locally produced items. And finally, we try to present inflation for the period on regional basis. Now, the data shows that Ghana's national year-on-year inflation slowed to 21.2% in April 2025, as I mentioned earlier.
The Ghana Tourism Development Corporation has launched its Fleet Pool Management Services, a groundbreaking initiative designed to transform the country's tourism industry.
The launch event drew stakeholders, guests and media representatives, with Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Abena Jifa Gomashi, delivering the keynote address. Minister Gomashi emphasized the significance of the initiative, citing its potential to enhance the tourist experience, promote Ghanaian culture, and drive economic growth. She underscored the importance of innovative solutions in repositioning Ghana's tourism sector.
Us here together this morning to see the launch of the Fleet Pool Management Services, a visionary platform really that marks a turning point in our journey towards delivering the Black Star experience and the broader vision of the Ghana we all know we can have, the Ghana we all want, as espoused by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. FPMS is a structured, forward-looking transport platform designed to enhance the efficiency, safety, and reliability of transportation within the tourism ecosystem. It seeks to streamline tourist mobility across our rich and diverse destinations while promoting professional driving standards and ensuring compliance with national regulations in both the tourism and transportation sectors. Every morning, I remind my driver that driving is a science. It's not just about moving the vehicle. So the fact that you can move it and turn the steering to go left or right doesn't make you a driver. It's a science. You have to be calculating and you have to plan before you set off. That's what FPMS wants to give us. This initiative is more than just a fix. It is a model for the future. Through the aggregation of transport services, FPMS creates a seamless, dependable supply system that meets the growing demand of local and international tourists.
Chief Executive Officer Professor Kobi Mensah explained that the fleet pool management services allows private sector companies owning vehicles and car rental services to partner with the Ghana Tourism Development Corporation. The partnership provides tourists with a wide range of transportation options, ultimately enhancing their experience.
All right. So the FPMS.
On an international front, black smoke billowed from the chimney of the 16th Chapel on Wednesday evening, signaling an inconclusive first vote by cardinals locked in the 16th Chapel in a conclave to elect a new pope to guide the Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic cardinals begin the process of electing a new pope on Wednesday, locking themselves away in the Vatican's Sistine Chapel until a decision is reached. This ritual, steeped in history, follows a public mass in St. Peter's Basilica. Cardinals then convene in a secret conclave to choose a successor to Pope Francis, who died last month. The election process is expected to last several days, as no pope has been elected on the first day of a conclave for centuries. There will be only one ballot on Wednesday, with up to 4 votes per day thereafter. Cardinals will burn their ballots, with black smoke marking an inconclusive vote and white smoke and bells signaling that the 1.4 billion member church has a new leader. At a mass before entering the conclave, cardinals prayed for guidance in selecting a pope who would exercise watchful care over the world. In recent days, cardinals have offered different assessments of what they're looking for in the next pope. Some desire continuity with Francis's reforms, others
Who's them there? In sport this morning, despite generating 20 goals attempts, Arsenal's team scored a last-minute goal to help Al Ittihad to complete a comeback and scored a 3-2 win over Al Nassr on Wednesday, taking them to a closer to clinching the Saudi Pro League title.
It's powerfully from deep, the overlap. No one was picking it up. And the first shot and goal finds the back of the net. What a start for Al Nassr. Sadio Mane gives them the lead just 2 minutes in. That's beautifully delivered into Karim Benzema. Aouar can't turn it home on the rebound. That's the best we've seen from the league leaders so far. It's a great combination. Moussa Diaby and Karim Benzema. Diaby with the highest number of assists in the whole of the league. Sadio Mane's way. He'll take the return as well from Al Hassan. Mane, he was held up there, and the shot turned home by Ayman Yahya for 2-0. Al Nassr. Played by Mane, letting it go. Into Ronaldo, feeds it on. This is Otavio getting the better of Al Shankiti. Denied by Rajkovic.
Does well there, Rajkovic. He fits to the left of the goal, though. He was ceding.
Hassan Kadesh into Abdurrahman Al Aboud. Nicely flighted and beautifully finished by Karim Benzema. Game on.
This is a very, very good finish from Karim Benzema. It's also matched by the ball in. There's got to be that quality.
Bit of room here for Benzema. How about that for a pass? They really are carrying a threat now. Conte, 2-2. Wow, what a start to the second half. The leaders come roaring back. N'Golo Conte's 4th goal of the season. What a turnaround. Hakawi. Diaby needs to be a good delivery. It was. Oh, and it's in. Houssem Aouar in the 94th minute wins the match for the league leaders. as Al Ittihad surely now take a big stride towards claiming the title.
And that'll be for sports. Let's take a recap of our top story. Third Force Alliance slams NPP over Chief Justice suspension. An inflation rate declined to 21.2% in April 2025, its lowest level in 8 months. And in the Vatican City, black smoke signals no Pope elect said in first conclave vote. In sports, Arsenal's inability to capitalize on key moments. Next is Yeson with Kojo Insakwa, the general. Good morning. Bye-bye.